Have you ever been told that once you pass 50, your cholesterol is destined to rise no matter what you do? That no matter how careful you are, those numbers will creep up slowly but surely till one day you're sitting in your doctor's office hearing the words you've always dreaded, it's time to start medication. What if I told you that's not the full truth? What if, instead, the choices you make each morning could quietly, powerfully, and consistently protect your heart and keep your cholesterol low, without making you feel like you're living under a list of endless restrictions? Today, I'm going to walk you through the top 3 morning habits that people over 50 can adopt to keep cholesterol under control. And by the end, you'll see that you don't need to surrender to age. You just need to build rituals that work with your body instead of against it. And I promise these are not vague tips. They are rooted in science, sharpened with experience, and delivered with the kind of practical advice you can start tomorrow morning. Now, before we dive into these habits, let me tell you why mornings matter so much. Think about it. When you first wake up, your body has been fasting for hours. Your blood sugar is at its baseline, your hormones are resetting, and your metabolism is waiting for cues. The first choices you make, the very first things you put into your system, or the movements you choose to do, can either set you up for steady energy, stable cholesterol, and long-term heart protection, or they can push you toward inflammation, weight gain, and numbers on your blood tests that keep climbing. I remember when I hit my early 50s, I thought I was doing fine. I exercised here and there. I tried to eat reasonably, but my doctor looked at me with a concerned face and said, "Your cholesterol is higher than it should be." That was the wake-up call. I didn't want to be on pills for the rest of my life. I wanted to change my lifestyle in a way that was sustainable, and that's where these habits came in. So let's start with the first one. And it might surprise you because it doesn't begin with food, it begins with movement. Most people think breakfast is the first key, but actually, what you do before breakfast may be even more powerful. Habit number one is moving your body in the morning. I don't mean running a marathon or lifting heavy weights. I'm talking about simple, deliberate movement that wakes up your circulation, burns off stored fats, and teaches your body to use cholesterol as fuel instead of letting it clog your arteries. For me, it started with just a 10-minute brisk walk around the block before coffee. That may not sound like much, but here's why it matters. When you walk in a fasted state, your body doesn't have sugar to burn, so it taps into fat, and cholesterol is carried in fat. By mobilizing it, by getting blood flowing, you encourage your body to regulate LDL, the bad cholesterol, and raise HDL, the good one. Studies have shown that even moderate movement in the morning can lower triglycerides and improve lipid profiles. And the best part, you don't need a gym, a trainer, or even fancy shoes. Just step outside, stretch, and get moving. If you're someone who struggles with motivation, here's what worked for me. I made it a ritual to open the door, breathe in the fresh morning air, and say out loud, "This is my gift to my heart." That little statement shifted it from being a chore to being an act of self-love. If you're listening right now and thinking, "I can't run, I have joint pain," then listen carefully. You don't need to run. You can do gentle yoga, marching in place, or even dancing to your favorite oldies in the kitchen. The point is, your morning movement doesn't just burn calories. It literally signals your body to handle cholesterol more efficiently. Now let's move into the second habit. And this one really shook me when I discovered it. It's about what you drink before you eat. Many people over 50 wake up and immediately reach for coffee. I get it. I love coffee too. But before you take that first sip, your body desperately needs hydration. Overnight, your blood can become slightly thicker, and that makes it harder for your cardiovascular system to function smoothly. So here's the habit. Start your morning with a large glass of water, ideally warm water with a squeeze of lemon. Why lemon? Because it not only hydrates you, but also provides vitamin C and natural compounds that support your liver, which is the organ that processes cholesterol. Think about it like this. Your liver is the recycling plant for cholesterol. If it's sluggish, cholesterol builds up. If it's supported, cholesterol gets used and eliminated more effectively. For me, the difference was almost immediate. I used to feel groggy in the mornings, like my body was dragging. Once I started drinking lemon water before anything else, I noticed I felt lighter, clearer, and strangely more satisfied when I finally ate breakfast. And science backs this up. Hydration improves circulation, helps bile production, and bile is what breaks down fats and cholesterol. Some people say, but isn't coffee enough? It has water in it. Here's the truth. Coffee is mildly dehydrating, especially if you drink it before replenishing your fluids. By starting with water, you're giving your heart a head start. And if lemon isn't your thing, you can try cucumber slices or even just plain warm water. The key is consistency. Now, the third habit, and this is where many people trip up, is what you actually choose for breakfast. And no, it's not about skipping breakfast altogether. Skipping can sometimes lead to overeating later, especially if you're over 50 and your metabolism is slower. The secret is choosing foods that actively lower cholesterol instead of raising it. Here's what I recommend, and I've seen it transform not just my numbers, but also the way I feel throughout the day. A fiber-rich breakfast with healthy fats. What does that mean in practice? Oatmeal topped with berries and a sprinkle of flaxseed. Whole grain toast with avocado. A smoothie with spinach, chia seeds, and a handful of walnuts. Fiber is the superstar here because it binds cholesterol in your gut and carries it out of your body before it can enter your bloodstream. When I started making oatmeal my staple breakfast, I was skeptical. I thought, really? Just oats? But after a few months, my LDL dropped, my energy stabilized, and I realized this wasn't just theory, it was practical, everyday medicine. And here's where my personal analysis comes in. Many people overcomplicate breakfast. They reach for bacon, sausages, buttery pastries, thinking it's a treat. But that treat is silently pushing cholesterol higher and higher. The better treat, honestly, is knowing that your breakfast is protecting you. You can still enjoy eggs, but pair them with vegetables or oats, not processed meats. You can still enjoy coffee, but make sure you're also getting fiber. Think of breakfast as building a shield around your arteries for the day ahead. Let me pause here and ask you, which of these habits do you already do? Do you walk in the morning? You hydrate before coffee? Do you eat fiber-rich foods? I'd love to hear your answer in the comments below because sharing your habits can inspire someone else who's just starting this journey. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more practical, science-backed, and personal insights on living healthier after 50. This community is about building each other up, not tearing ourselves down, and your presence here makes it stronger. But let's not with just the what. Let's talk about the why. Why are these 3 habits so effective for people over 50? Because cholesterol management is not just about one dramatic change. It's about small, consistent signals to your body. When you move in the morning, you tell your body, burn fat, use cholesterol. When you hydrate, you tell your liver, flush, process, recycle. When you eat fiber and healthy fats, you tell your digestive system, block the bad, boost the good. Over time, these messages add up. I've had friends who ignored this advice and said, I'll just take the statins. And while medication has its place, they often found themselves still struggling with side effects or still feeling tired or still worried every time they went for blood work. On the other hand, the people who adopted these habits felt empowered, like they were active participants in their own health story. And here's something I want to emphasize. It's never too late. You might be watching this at 60, 70, even 80, thinking, isn't it too late for me? Absolutely not. Your body is always listening, always adapting. I know a 71-year-old neighbor who started walking every morning after his doctor told him he needed a stent. Within 6 months, his cholesterol improved so much that the procedure was postponed indefinitely. That's the power of habit. That's the power of mornings. Now, I promised you a twist at the end, and here it is. The real secret to keeping cholesterol low is not the 3 habits themselves. It's the mindset that builds them. Because you can know these habits and still not do them. The twist is this. Your mornings are the one part of the day you can truly control. Before emails, before phone calls, before anyone else's demands, you have a window of time that belongs only to you. If you fill that window with health anchoring rituals, you're not just lowering cholesterol, you're declaring that your future matters more than your excuses. And that, my friends, is the kind of shift that keeps you not only alive, but thriving. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, I want you to remember this story. Step outside and move your body. Drink that glass of water with lemon before your coffee. Choose a breakfast that fights cholesterol instead of feeding it. And as you do, Know that you're not just making small choices, you're rewriting your health story one morning at a time. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone you care about. And don't leave without leaving a comment. Which habit are you committing to tomorrow morning? Because when you write it down, it becomes real. And together we can prove that life after 50 isn't about decline. It's about deliberate, daily victories.